The only reason I said I wasn't going to go on the LAT is because previously you had said that you were just going to leave me on that planet.
Okay, this
I
does.
thought I was being left behind.
This is the case until the base was imploded by a self-destruct. And then due to this overall comms, it was stated by both myself and Battalion Commander 4324 that the base is of no use.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you when you said that. I wasn't on that.
Okay, so on this, your reasoning for then refusing an order to return to an LAAT?
Yeah, again, it's just because I still thought that I was going to be left. I was also lost in a maze of things because I didn't know where you'd gone.
Okay, the maze was one of the reasons you stated over a comms that you stated you aren't coming due to the fact you was lost.
Yes.
Okay, and just cause for stating you won't be following orders because you are lost?
I did end up finding my way and I did still board the ship. I would also like to state here, so I did not desert the Republic.
We're aware, Sergeant Major, you aren't in trouble for deserting, you're in trouble for stating that you would. So during this process, exactly what was going through your mind?
Nothing, I just wasn't focusing right. Past few days haven't been going too well for me currently. So it's a lot of stress, to be honest.
Okay. So, in the end, you did in fact board the LAAT after orders. However, after recent review of regimental reviews with your captain, who I expressively asked to go into further details on your personnel file, you have another 3 reports in your personnel file for disobeying and failing to follow direct orders. Should I be concerned about a pattern here, or do you have just reasoning?
No. I do have a few reasonings.
And they are?
What one, I do not recall what these were for. Could you please maybe state them there?
Okay, I'll open the review, which is to my right. I will read it. So, section 1 is actually a report by Executive Officer James. He's no longer on our base due to the 187 being disembarked. However, the report states, and I quote from your captain, that Sergeant Major 2983 Pro at this time was given orders by Captain Rex to perform duties during a mission. He then ordered a private to fail to follow these orders of the captain, thus refusing the orders himself, to then enforce a new set of orders from a lower ranking official.
I would like to state, I have stated this multiple times, I've even gotten that trooper himself to state this, that the orders I'd given him were before the captain had even spoken.
Okay, and the orders that the captain gave were, if you could remember from the top of your mind?
I believe it was ceasefire or something. The lines. Whilst the order I'd given previously was to fire on the droidica.
Okay, so that
I had ceasefired myself, the private himself did not though, even though I even then told him and he still...
Understood, so... From what I can tell on that one, it could just be a miscommunication or hearing things in the wrong order. Okay. Case 2 was an order from Commander Rat during a mission, in which, once again, Executive Officer James reported to your captain that you stated over communications, and I quote from the Executive Officer's report, and I quote, word for word, you state the words over communications. You are not my commanding officer, so I'm not going to listen.
Can I ask which mission was this?
This was a base attack around 2 weeks ago.
I don't actually remember this one. Was this the one with the giant factory, that one?
I do not know, as I was unavailable for that mission. I simply have a report.
Does it state in the report, though?
It does not. It simply states what was said and what was reported.
I honestly, I don't ever remember saying this, so excuse my memory here.
Okay, and third and final report. I've for some reason gone in descending order, but your third and final report actually came from your own Jedi commander.
Was this Commander Tano, perchance?
Yeah, she's the only Jedi commander.
Yeah.
Jedi Commander Tano reported you to your captain for failing to follow orders from a Jedi.
What orders were these, and when was this? You don't mind me asking?
I don't know the exact orders. As your Jedi commander very simply only, and I mean only, reported the fact that you failed to obey orders.
I don't recall this, because every time I've been given an order by either Rex or Commander Tano, I've always followed through on the letter, even if it puts my own life at risk. Unless this was in that simulation one where I'd accidentally shot them because they'd gotten in. I'd literally said to them, I'm placing a turret down, do not go here. I don't know otherwise. That's the only time I've ever done anything.
Okay. And just to check again, if you had orders from a officer, do you follow them in any division or just your own?
Of course I would say.
Okay, let's give a scenario. Lieutenant Karma here has ordered you to flank left. However, Captain Sky here has ordered you to flank right. Where do you flank?
Well, obviously I do see Sky does outrank Karma here. I have been taught by other officers, though, you always follow the officer in your division, even if a period does get... So I'm querying between which one I should follow here, because I've been told by an officer when I'm training once that you follow the officer unless the one that is giving a command is very high rank. I'd say I'd follow the captain's order.
And your reasoning behind following the captain?
Depending on the situation, it could be more strategic, and also the captain has quite a lot more skill and more... the word for this? You know when you've been to a lot of battles, and that word?
Experience.
Just experience, yeah. Thank you. A lot more experience than the lieutenant. He might know what he's talking about more than...
You mentioned before that in training they recommend that you follow the officer in your regiment, though. Who said that, and why you go against that?
battalion commander here asked that you mentioned before that an officer told you to follow your
I believe
officers.
that was Burrito. Obviously, yeah. When I was doing a 104th tryout.
Are you part of the 104th?
No, I'm the 501st currently. I did tryouts. I've done many tryouts.
So you think it's fit to still continue 104th trends within different regiments?
Yes, I know.
And why
I was just saying.
go against it and follow the captain's orders if you're true to that?
Because I feel like if you were saying this, and then Burrito may have just not have known at the time, because it could have been different. But I feel like the again, as I said, the cap are better than the. No offense to you.
Pro.
You say you've done a 104th tryout, but as far as I remember, apart from being a CT, you've always been 501st.
Yeah. Yeah, I tried out for a 104th, I failed.
I don't remember ever seeing you try out for 104th.
You was not on at the time.
And just to give us a time frame between your time in the 104th to the 501st.
I honestly, I don't remember because of how long ago this was.
Okay, an easier question would be, whilst you was in the 104th, was Executive Officer Burrito still in effect?
As I said, I failed the tryout, but when I was around and I did the thing, yeah, he was still around.
So you're stating that during a tryout, a Executive Officer Burrito at the time was teaching you to disobey higher up authority to then follow
he'd asked me a scenario question, and then he said that my answer was correct on that.
Are you aware of what the question was?
Yeah, he'd asked me if similar question to yours. If he'd given me an order, who would I follow? And then at the time I was still very new and I didn't know what to do, so I just said that one I get.
So during your time as a trooper, or in this case, non-commissioned officer of the Republic, would you say you have grown in your knowledge base?
Yes, sir.
Would you say your current captain is successfully teaching you that the hierarchy is more important than regimental command?
Yes, sir.
I've got another scenario-based question. Suppose the mission lead was Tyrion, although it wouldn't usually be the case if there was a situation where they're training to save an officer and they needed experience commanding in the mission, and the mission lead. Would you follow his orders or would you follow Lieutenant Karma's orders, even though he outranks? I'll repeat it again. Say Tyrion was an officer and was the mission lead. Would you follow his command or would you follow Karma's command?
Well, I've always been taught to follow the mission lead's command because even the captain himself said I wouldn't follow his order, I'd follow the mission lead, who at the time was only, I believe, Captain Priest.
Sure.
So I would follow the mission leads, as that is what I've been taught.
Quite good. To do with the where you have been accused of deserting or threatening to desert, would you say the base was in any good condition to stay there? Believe it was fit to be for public use?
I would have stayed, yes, because earlier on, before the battalion command, or the Grand General here had said to me to stay at the base, as they would be leaving me there. No, because I was the gunship, as I was something.
So you're saying that during the entire mission you was unaware of these several times over all units in which the base was commed as extremely damaged?
No, because I'd taken my helmet off, so I didn't have communications.
Okay, I have a question based on the command meeting, what just occurred. During your time in the 501st, you said you failed your 104th tryout, if I'm correct, and then you joined the 501st by Commander Tano's tryout, correct?
Yes.
So during this time, you've been ranking yourself up all the way from regimental cadet to your current rank, correct?
Yes, sir.
At any point between your times as corporal and sergeant, did you undergo training?
Yeah, by the lieutenant guard before he had left.
And what did this training comprehend of? What was it made up of?
He just asked me a good few questions about all the responsibilities that I have and what I'd have to be doing.
So your training was more of a quiz, as you say?
Yeah.
Explains a lot. Thank you. I think I have
Can I ask?
everything I need from my end. The rest of you can ask your questions.
Okay, Pro. My question is very simple. Do you understand your rank?
Yes.
Do you understand the privilege and the overall commanding power you have with your rank?
Yes.
Do you understand that one command from you can make up and can command a lot of privates and a lot of enlisted?
Yes, sir.
And do you understand that that can fail out too, and that can probably lead to major problems?
Yes.
All right, that's all I have.
On that, I would like to know, in your own words, what would you say your responsibilities and duties as a sergeant major consist of?
Well, other than being able to go into train new cadets into become the finest army of the Republic, I would honestly say I'm just here to help out the best I can, to be honest, and leave the 501st and any other troopers that need assistance. I do know I have the power to do trials, but I need to be. I definitely feel like I do need to work on my commanding abilities here.
Okay, on this, would you say that your skills as a squad leader in this case, would you say your skills as a squad leader have been honed by your regiment, by your command?
No, sir.
Okay, no further questions on my half.
I have one final question. Our decision today. How can we ensure that you won't do this again?
Honestly, I am trying to work on my leadership powers here, and I am trying not to pull my rank. I have been. I've seen that. I've told that. I would like to say if I do ever do anything like this again, I will happily. As I can see that I have not done my job properly.
And no more questions.
Captain, do you have any?
I do not believe I have any questions this time, no.
Lieutenant?
No, sir.
Alright then, for the time being, Sergeant Major 2983, if you see that room that you saw Sergeant Major Tyrion walk into to your left hand side right now, if you walk in there, you will be called out once we have a decision.
Alright, here comes the verdict now.
Yeah, no, we have to decide. Once again, it can range from anything from the entire case being dropped all the way to execution. Literally anything.
Oh god.
Written warning, verbal warning. Well, it goes being dropped, verbal warning, written warning, regimental strike, demotion, regimental removal. In between strike and demotion is retraining. Then retraining, demotion, then it's regimental removal. So completely being removed from a regiment. Then it just goes straight to execution. It's a wide list of things.
Alright.
Yeah, indeed.
I mean, shall we start with Sky and go down from there?
Yes, go on, Sky. Your verdict from everything we've heard today.
Um, I'm not sure what the full punishment should be, but I think regardless of what punishment we give him, he should get some sort of retraining at least.
Yes, we could.
Since he says that he's not really been having his like leading ability honed.
Yes, I agree. Right in between a strike and a demotion, we put it straight in between and retrain, and I'd say along with that, give him a regimental strike for disobeying an order.
I agree with that.
I believe it shouldn't be too extreme, but it also shouldn't be too light either. You could get some retraining, and should also receive some kind of formal warning in the form of a strike or written, to make sure that it will not happen again.
All right. My verdict, which will be a lot lighter, I guess, than use, because it's my trooper, I guess. But for disobeying orders, direct orders on mission, it's a demotion, I think, right? The right punishment if he has no excuses, but he did have excuses and they were numbered at like 2, I guess, getting lost and not hearing. And so I don't think demotion is what he needs, I guess. A retraining seems to be okay for him, and I believe a strike, a regimental strike, and a verbal warning to not do that again, and to not up his ranks.
So we have unanimously decided that he's to be retrained as a NCO and is to receive a regimental strike.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with there being a regimental strike, something on paper at least to show that he has been told off.
Regimental strike, just to inform everyone that it has occurred. So it'll be on his record now that he's been striked due to disobeying direct orders, and then retrained to home in his leadership and his actual sergeant skills as a whole.
Understood.
That seems good.
Right. If we are, let's check. Would you say we do green or red for this? Because it's a light punishment from what it could have been. Would you say green? A retraining.
What do you mean
strike.
green or red?
Yeah, I'd say a green, because a red's like, you know, you've been demoted, executed, all that.
I
Yeah.
would say because of the circumstances and having sufficient excuses for some of the offences that it should be agreed.
Okay. Right, would you like to comms to Tyrion that he can have him come back in?
You can get him back in the room now.
Good day, Sergeant Major. Lieutenant, would you like to explain, since it's your trooper?
Yeah, to the best of my ability. So, Sergeant Major, we have gone through every aspect of this court-martial, and we did try to do you fairly, as fair as possible. So we all agreed on giving you a retraining in NCO abilities, commanding, and overall being an NCO. With that retraining, of course, we are gonna have to strike you for still disobeying, although you have come with excuses which are sometimes good. And yeah, that's what we have all come to an agreement.
So overall, Sergeant Major, this is a very light punishment from what I know for a fact some other commanding officers would have gone straight for. Your retraining is simply due to the fact of your answer when you stated your NCO training was just you being asked a question. This is not how non-commissioned officers should have been trained, and it has never been the way that you should have been trained. However, for some reason, your training was question-based instead of practical-based. So obviously, your retraining of your NCO skills will be in effect. What means you are able to stay at your current rank of Sergeant Major. And due to the fact it has to be written up that it went into court-martial and the court-martial process, it has to be given a regimental warning, more of a regimental strike. I'm unaware of how the 501st strike system works, whether it's 1, 2 or 3 strike maximum. However, I know in battalion we have 2 and commanding officers have 3, so I don't believe it should be that strict. However, it's basically just a written note that this process went on, and just a note that if anything ever happens again similar to this, it's already happened in the past, and has been stated that you can resolve it from a hopeful retraining as a non-commissioned officer. So overall, this is a very good thing on your behalf. It means you get to keep all your progress. You get to stay with us. You don't end up with a severe punishment other than the fact you just have to sit through around about 10 minutes of a actual NCO training by someone who's qualified to perform it. Other than that, battalion commander, unless you have anything to say, Sergeant Major, we can recall Tyrion in here, and he can escort you back to your area. Take that as a no. You may get Tyrion to escort him back. Oh, Tyrion's gone. Oh, never mind. Battalion Commander, would you do the honours of escorting him back?
Yeah, of course.
It's green, do you see? It's green to say it was a light punishment. Look, it was going to be red if it was execution. I didn't know how it was going to go.
Yeah, I feel like Breeze would 100% have tried to get an execution.
Oh, I feel like Rex would have as well. Okay, I'm going to end my recording.